Though, as anyone would mention, I am very late to the party in covering this movie, I've had my eye on The Northman for a long time. I think in part just because of the attention and acclaim I've heard given to the actual production, and the poster in itself, from what I've seen of it, that's more so been my limited enticement. I think it's looked pretty interesting, and it's again, it seemed to be a very engaging work on a visual note. But in terms of giving it a deeper look, I would believe such a claim is warranted, not only by Robert Eggers, who has a good presence in the horror space, given I haven't seen these movies, but The Witch and, I'd say, I don't know if this is necessarily going for like a horror edge. It kind of has like a thriller tone to it. It seems like a more aggressive movie, but films he's known for, The Lighthouse, The Witch. I haven't, again, seen either of those pictures, but I know the attention that those have gotten over time. And the cast in itself brings me in, in a large regard. Alexander Skarsgård is in this, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, I love him, Anya Taylor-Joy, I'm a big fan of, Willem Dafoe. There's a lot of big names here to this movie that, again, have set up a very interesting presentation and one that I've wanted to humor for a long time. And though I am very late, I am fast-tracking. I actually went to the library the other day and I borrowed a copy of The Northman. It was on the shelf and I said, okay, I want to see this. This is going to get me into finally looking at the trailers after how long, when I should have looked at them a while ago, but I'm giving you that first impression today. And again, like I said, I've been pretty interested by just the poster in itself, and again, the good regard I've heard mentioned to it being a Viking story. I haven't exposed myself to many pictures along those lines. I know there's that, I think that the Netflix iteration hasn't done as well, but the original Viking show has taken off for a lot of people. But I like history. I'm curious to explore that era whenever I can, especially stories that are unfamiliar to me. And though I'm familiar with the legends of the Vikings in a broad sense from my childhood, I'm looking to maybe get a deeper perspective, and hopefully this movie does that. I don't remember if anybody was saying it was a really authentic performance, but I imagine some part, again, is inspired in some regard by history. But I'm sure this will be a very competent movie, again, knowing the recognition that Robert Eggers has gotten. I would believe that this is to that level. If you're not familiar with The Northman either, because some people might be like, I don't recognize this movie, or maybe you just know the title, that's as far as you've gone with it. There's a lot of movies that come out these days, and sometimes pictures go way... you forget about certain pictures along the way, because there's just so many studios vying for your attention. So to update us, perhaps, and get us maybe back onto the speed of things, with maybe past pictures that we want to entertain, but we've forgotten about, here's what we have to look at in terms of an IMDb pitch basis. A young Viking prince is on a quest to avenge his father's murder, so it's a revenge story, rooted in a historical sense. Again, I could see quite while some people might say that's a pretty specific basis that we've seen played out in other types of film fare as well. Yes, we've seen revenge stories, especially when it pertains to family. I think this will be kind of interesting. Again, I'm curious to see the quality of the production. That's sort of, it's brought me in terms of first tease. So I have 3 trailers pulled up for this to get us a good perspective of it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the official trailer first, and then we'll go on to the second trailer, and then the Red Band trailer, and then hopefully I'll be able to watch the film tonight. I've waited long enough. Not just in watching the film, but in covering it. All right, like I am many projects, again, catch-up phase. I've been on that for a long time, and I'm finally making progress, at least I should have been long ago. All right, here we go, The Northman. First engagement with it. Did I see Aaron Taylor Johnson's name in the casting, by the way? Thought I did just for a split second. It's filmed very well. Beautiful environmental shots.
He's here. Mother! Father is here! The king, milady. The king.
Your fate is set and you cannot escape it.
Oh, okay. I like focus features.
I've missed you, my son. One day this kingdom will be yours.
Thank you, Father. My king.
Setup of the conflict here.
Father!
Great presentation. Feels well managed. Wonderful work put into the costume designs. Very engaging visually.
I will avenge you, Father! I will save you, Mother!
Dark atmosphere, but so scenic just to watch. There's a real beauty to this.
I want to save you, Mother. I won't kill you, feel it.
Visionary, I would agree with that.
Why would he stow away to
such a hellish place?
To find what was stolen from me.
And what is that?
The kingdom.
You must choose between kindness for your kin or hate for your enemies.
Your strength breaks men's bones.
Well, no one said the Vikings were peaceful. And this movie wonderfully embodies that.
We will carry out my pledge of vengeance.
I will avenge you, Father.
I will avenge you, Father.
This looks great.
I will save you, Mother.
I will save you, Mother.
I will kill you if you let me.
Wow. You know, strong visuals only take you so far. No, I didn't see Aaron Taylor Johnson. Okay, it was Anya Taylor-Joy that I mixed up. To be fair, ATJ. I think that looks phenomenal. I didn't realize it was a Focus Features movie. I've liked their work for quite a bit in terms of the projects, wherever I've consulted them or I've watched them in full. This looks good. Strong visual choices. And there's a familiarity, I mean, in regard to the casting. Anya Taylor-Joy, she was in The Witch. Again, favorite actress of mine. I'm game to watch her. You know, I saw her very recently in terms of The Last Night in Soho. Finally watched that. Great atmosphere to that movie, too. If you've never seen it, it's really good. Really, really contemplative movie, but just, it's so engaging. Very lustful atmosphere in regards to cinema. It just, you welcome it immediately. It's quite tempting to just get soaked in. It's a beautiful movie, and her performance in that film was exquisite. As it's been pretty much any time I've watched her. She really is just such a fantastic actress. The Northman, no exception, but this is in general to the entire cast. It's a quite engrossing picture, strong visual choices, great environmental setups, heavily engaging. Just on the tone itself, it's a very severe action thriller type movie with a, I would say, more suspenseful, thriller, horror-esque ambiance. There are clear distinctive roots in that regard to certain imagery palettes of what Robert Eggers is using here, that I think boast a very substantive work in a number of regards, and the range of what's being crafted here is very impressive. No wonder it got good regard. And I would just believe that based on one trailer, and that'd be it. But let's consult everyone. You know, I'd like to get a full window here and be able to appreciate a project to the best of its ability. Let's take a look at the second trailer and see if there's anything else to boast of it. And then we'll, of course, wrap up with the red band, but we'll start here. This is sort of the second look for it.
Fate.
And both are quite expansive, by the way, in terms of their trailer durations. Like I said, beautiful environments. I love this lingering opening. Wonderful establishment of tone to the trailer. This is great. It feels like an awards movie. And that opening shot is so strong. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean in a way. That's what it reminds me of the opening for Dead Man's Chest. But from a more meticulous reverence of cinema. I liked it there too, but this is specific. Every shot here you just have to take in. I like the way this trailer's edited. It's basically just one giant compilation of the imagery of the Northman.
I cannot escape my fate.
And just an action scene medley. It's great. I find it quite beautiful. And again, like I said, maybe the right approach would be to consult some of Robert Eggers' past works. Even though I haven't, I'm very familiar with regard to them. So I would believe if you were to tell me that the filmmaker behind The Witch and The Lighthouse practices the same meticulousness here, but I believe if you were to tell me that those movies as well are so capable in their presentation, just based on the summation of what I'm seeing here, it wouldn't be a stretch for me to attribute the same level of respect to those projects, even again, not having personally witnessed them yet. Let's take a look at the Red Band trailer. This will probably fit the Viking energy. I mean, it's certainly been an aggressive movie. I'll say it comes across quite assertive in its violence to me. It's not in any way peaceful. But you want a gritty picture with the Viking set era. That's what you're getting here. It's perhaps, again, I don't know for sure, but maybe it's very authentic to history in that respect.
My kingdom was stolen from me. My heart knows only revenge.
All the money I spent on costuming. Like, Anya Taylor-Joy's outfit really is so striking to me. Not reined in. Ouch. Ah, looks good. I knew I made a good call when I picked it up from the library. I'm like, you know, again, I was reminded as soon as I picked up the copy, I'm like, that poster, just, there's something about it that's so enticing. I've been meaning to look at this film for a long time. I'm glad I finally did in my long saga of catching up with projects that are way past due. Again, I'm working on it. The Northman looks quite capable as a project, and again, as a first entrance to Robert Eggers' work, I'm enticed to experience his background as well and add some sense of familiarity to his level of competence in his movie production to my repertoire of films that I've personally watched and taken a journey of. I think it'll be quite fun. I'm excited to experience it for myself, not just, again, the talented performances of pretty much everybody involved, I would imagine, but the scenic environments and positioning of certain camera shots, the way it's filmed, it's very intentional. It feels like cinema that deserves to be awed and ogled over. What are your guys' thoughts on The Northman? Again, I know, I'm covering this late, so I'm sure some of you will fittingly put that in the comment section all over the place, but I would also imagine that many of you could speak as well to the same, you know, your level of experience. You could speak to what I'm seeing here. But how do you feel about the movie, having watched it for yourself? You have entertained it. Or maybe you're somebody that, like me, again, you just haven't gotten around to looking at this film in detail yet. Because, again, there's a lot of different films in cinema that are vying for your attention. What was your first impression, if this is your situation? I'd love to hear your thoughts, should you wish to disclose your perspective, down below. I'm engaged. I'm ready to watch it as far as tonight, as far as I'm concerned. It looks good. I'm betting it's going to be quite a surreal experience. And maybe right after, again, although the order perhaps many would argue should be you watch The Witch, then The Lighthouse. You know, like I said, in terms of content, I make choices, especially, you know, in regards to what I choose to entertain. I'm careful. So I'd have to look at those films maybe in more detail from a content perspective, but I can certainly speak to the level of quality from what I know about those projects that's very present here. I would believe that Robert Eggers, just by default, and what I'm seeing here, is quite talented as this trailer. Well, not this trailer that we just looked at. I think it was the first one. He is a visionary. I would attribute that term. I think The Northman looks exquisite. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.